Weekend Update with Seth Meyers.
Good evening, I'm Seth Meyers, and here's your Weekend Update. The year is 1871, and we have a very special question to answer tonight. Was Otto von Bismarck a supreme opportunist or a master planner? So to kick things off, I'd like to welcome Otto von Bismarck.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Now Otto, why are you coming here in such a huff today?
Sorry, Seth. I just returned from Versailles where I just declared the German Empire.
Congratulations, Chancellor. Now we brought you here to discuss whether your actions leading up to unification make you a supreme opportunist or a master planner. How about we go through the major events leading up to unification and keep a tally of which title exhibits you best.
Only if I can tell my side of the story.
Fair enough. So let's start with the Polish Revolt of 1863. The Europeans sympathized with the Poles, but you did not. Through the Alvensleben Convention, you reached a deal with Russia to suppress the uprising. Prussia was condemned by Europe, but you gained Russia's support.
This is true. This presented me with a great opportunity to secure Russia's friendship and secure that they would not aid Austria in the upcoming war. All part of my great plan.
Well, let's welcome modern historian Eric Wilmot out to talk about this. What do you think about this, Mr. Wilmot?
Well, I think that Bismarck disliked the Poles for their radical nature and Catholicism, and rather desired to gain security in Prussia's Polish territories. This critical decision to side with Russia brought on a lot of international hostility, putting Bismarck's position in great jeopardy. This seems like a risky move to be a part of a great plan.
Convincing. Seems like you were taking the opportunity from the moment, Otto. I'm going to have to put one on the board for Supreme Opportunist. Let's look next at Schleswig-Holstein question of 1864. The two duchies of Schleswig and Holstein were traditionally ruled by Denmark, but both had a German nature and attracted German nationalist ambitions. Bismarck, would you like to explain your actions?
Yes, I would, Seth. When the King of Denmark died in 1863, the situation was perfect to intervene and take the two duchies. Of course, I wanted them both for Prussia, but I wanted Austria by my side to achieve this. In 1864, we rapidly defeated Denmark, and after the Convention of Gastein, Austria occupied Holstein and Prussia took Schleswig. I used this entire affair as a pretext to go to war with Austria in the future, needing a good reason to provoke them into battle. Again, part of my master plan.
Now let's invite historian A.J.P. Taylor to get his interpretation on this issue. Welcome, A.J.P.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Now, AJP, what exactly does AJP stand for?
That's not important right now, Seth. What's important is the issue at hand. The crisis over the two duchies of Schleswig and Holstein was a critical cause for the war between Austria and Prussia, as Bismarck had predicted. Though Bismarck clearly wanted to keep Austria from asserting her power in the German states, he had no real policy that he was following. Bismarck is a diplomatic genius, and he would always use diplomatic means to solve issues, only utilizing war if absolutely necessary. He dislikes his inability to control the events of war, forcing him to put trust in generals he didn't find to be fully able. So rather than using this event as a pretext to war, Bismarck rather used diplomacy to frighten Austria, as he did not want the risk of war and believed these problems could be solved without it.
Now, Otto, this man has some pretty good credentials. That's another one for Supreme Opportunist. We're nearing closer to unification. Next, we have the war with Austria from 1866. Bismarck, you knew that you must secure France's neutrality before going to war, correct?
Yes, I met with Napoleon III in Biarritz to discover that if I could secure Venetia for Italy, France would not intervene. So I allowed Italy to absorb Venetia, which alarmed Austria and caused them to mobilize their army. So obviously, they were the aggressor. Austria then tried to settle the problems in Schleswig-Holstein, so I decided to occupy their Holstein. Ha-ha! They appealed to the Confederation, and I was at war with Austria and all the German states, which we defeated very quickly. We then treated them to a mild peace to prevent revenge. We'd actually like to have Austria as a friend in the future.
Well, that's cute. But when you went to war with Austria, it was a unique time. Both Russia and Britain were out of European affairs, and Russia refused to help Austria because they didn't help in Crimea. Britain supported the growth of a power in Central Europe to counter France and Russia. You couldn't guarantee that France would remain your friend for long, and they actually went behind your back and made a secret treaty with Austria regarding your possible defeat.
What? This is blasphemy. but a necessary part of my plan if I were to defeat France in the future.
It doesn't really seem like you were looking to have a war with France in the future, just to defeat Austria before the other powers intervened. Looks like you were taking advantage of the great situation at hand. One more for Supreme Opportunist.
Began speaking with the southern German states, and some people said I must go to war with France to decide who had a greater influence in these states, though I rather wanted to join with them diplomatically. I played the fact that the foreign rule would be a disgrace for them if they chose to go with France. Napoleon III tried to gain land in other countries, which I quickly rejected, and then the Hohenzollern candidature.
Let's welcome Prince Leopold to look at the Ems telegram and discuss the Hohenzollern candidature. Now, Prince Leopold, why are you so sad?
Well, I recently lost a great opportunity. You see, Isabella II fell from a revolution in Spain, and they asked me to be their king over their new constitutional government.
And I fully supported this. It was a great idea to form a lasting relationship between the German and Spain, and place Germany in a position of great power.
Several times I refuted their invitation, but Bismarck continually asked for another one. Finally, I accepted, but the French wouldn't have it. They feared the development of another power on the continent, and even worse, being surrounded by the Prussian throne. King Wilhelm met with the French ambassador at Ems, and Wilhelm was told that a Hohenzollern will never rule over Spain, which Wilhelm refused and sent this in a telegram. Bismarck successfully edited it, and next thing you know, we were at war with France.
It was all part of my plan. I made sure to convince the Germans that Wilhelm received an ultimatum and to, quote, never again to give his approval to the candidacy of the Hohenzollerns should it be renewed. I even published it in the paper on Bastille Day to further agitate the French.
You have a point, but it seems like you never planned to go to war with France, or really for any of this to occur. You thought that you could solve it all diplomatically and acted on the situations with which you were presented. This seems like a supreme opportunist to me.
No one will ever understand my plans.
Well, thank you, Bismarck. I'm glad we were able to come to a conclusion that you are a supreme opportunist through your actions in the Polish revolts, Schleswig-Holstein issue, Austro-Prussian War, and the Franco-Prussian War. You definitely did not follow a concrete plan, but utilized events to the fullest to receive the best outcomes. Kudos to you.
I guess, yes. Well, I've got to go back and form my German empire now. It's going to be difficult to culturally unify the people.
Until next time, this has been your Weekend Update.
Wiggling so much.
Yes, when the King of Denmark died in 1863, the situation was perfect to intervene and take the two duchies. Sorry for the mustache. Of course I wanted them both to Prussia, so I decided to occupy their Holstein. Ha 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 ha.
When I put that haha in there, it was more like haha, not like ha 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 ha. Sorry, that wasn't clear enough.
I started laughing.
Alright, well, Em's gotta read that again.
He was like,
I really appreciated that.
It just took a moment too. He's like,
I did all of you.
We love you.
you're so enrolling, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Never
Jackie.
to give his approval to the candidacy of the Hohenzollerns. Should it be renewed?
Muy bueno.
muy bueno.
Alright, hold on. Shade. Alright, clean shade. This one now.
It's an issue.
And they actually went behind your back and made a secret treaty with Austria regarding your possible defeat.
What? This is blasphemy.
I can cut it out. You're good.
This is blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
Alright, hold on.
Blasphemy.
Jackie, you're gonna have a fun time cutting this. Just do not Just do
Patriotic crown.
like UH. This is going making a blooper reel.
Oh, I'm so making a blooper reel. This is the best. How do you...
It's still coming, by the way.
Oh, thank God.
Spread a little love
It's the only
today.
crown I have.
Spread a little love.
Oh.
Na, 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 na.